Hello, namaskar everyone. Thank you, Radha. My name is Pravat, and basically I write in Nepali. Most of my poems are in Nepali. Sometimes in English also. I can recite a very old poem of mine. That's a butterfly. Butterfly. In the void of my creation, a butterfly always flutters. I try to catch it. The closer I get, the farther it flees from me. Sometimes I almost touch it, yet, as always, it slips away, leaving behind on my fingers a few colors from its wings. Always so near, yet so far, carrying the colors of my imagination. That butterfly is the unwritten poetry of mind, a thought sprouts yearning to be expressed in a creation, but when the light of creation doesn't pierce through, it fumbles in the darkness of my mind, and I, diving into the depth of my heart, I return as always empty-handed. Those intangible poems are strong. Those intangible poems are somewhere within me, entwined in my emotions, contained within the expanse of my vocabulary. Yet my expressions stand before me like giants, and I merely offer the defeated efforts of fleeting consolation. But those embroidered creations keep teasing my conscience, keep tempting my creativity, keep tormenting my poetic soul, and I, restless within myself, never tired of chasing that butterfly. In my heart, I carry his shadow, its wings beating as it pulse in my heart. This butterfly living with me, within me, I can never catch. It simply soars in the heights of my sensitivity and flutters and flutters. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. सर्वप्रथम आजको पुस्तकको लेखक उहाँलाई हार्दिक बधाई, उपस्थित हुनुभएका सबै सबैजनालाई सम्बोधनमा लाग्दै उहाँको एउटा कविता म तपाईँहरू समक्ष आवृत्ति गर्न लागिरहेको छु। हुन त मैले पहिलोपल्ट पढेको, यहाँभित्र के कस्तो कविता छन्, भाव कस्ता छन्, त्यसबारे म अनभिज्ञ छु। यस विषयमा अगावै तपाईँहरूबाट म क्षमा चाहन्छु, केही बोल्नु नभएर। किताब पल्टाउने बित्तिकै एउटा कविता भेटी, म्यानकाइन्ड, म त्यसैलाई नै आवृत्ति गर्न गइरहेको छु। Mankind, it's that very thing, a preordained vision unfolding years upon years, and in the process, the fetus comes to life from blood in the womb. Even as he takes birth, he is tainted by a stained hue, a color that smells only doom. Dirt is painted all over his pure, unadulterated being, gradually covering his spotlessness, mudding his tender and pure existence. His mind becomes polluted, his blossoming heart blemishes, and becoming restless, he fidgets. Waits silently at life's weirdness till confusion marks his journey's end. He could not blossom naturally. He could not open up in true essence. He could not express his perspectives. He could not think freely and rise. He never could smile at his inner self, nor could he live a life of freedom. Every time he enters this world, it's a repeat of the same routine. That is why he is always dominated and gets hurt again. Much of his world is left to be understood. There is so much to know about life. Figuring out death leads to confusion. Understanding nature ends in failure. Why does the mind dwell in artificially? Why is man on the path to epiphany? Oh, when can life be free of blemish? When will that sunshine of consciousness rise? Perhaps only when will liberation embrace mankind. Thank you.
I'll rather hold it. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Bania for his book. Happy congratulations, sir. And standing here in front of you all, like well-known literary figures, I take it as my privilege. I've come with a very short one. In fact, I've not been writing much these days in English, as I've learned writing more in the party. So this
coming everyone, and congratulations to the author. First, let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Retes. I'm from Siliguri, and I usually write in many languages, but I prefer expressing more of a writer. And these poems that I wrote is something that I wrote in the end of the day when I was feeling very tired and I didn't want to write a very long paragraph and stuff. So the title of the poem that I am about to narrate is called The Walk. I walked the dark road towards the lonely street light. I was followed by the footsteps that echoed, which made me walk cautiously overnight. So I turned my head to peep a little. I was filled with dread and it made me bristle. There was nothing I could really see, so I continued walking as it closed in on me. I stood under the light and looked in that direction, yet there was nothing in sight, nothing in motion. But then I looked down and found a couple of shoes with a tinge of white brown. It still had feet within that was cut loose. Blood spilled like a wellspring. On the road it oozed. I stood there awestruck. Then I opened my bag. I was glad to find the corpse still intact. I confess I did cut the feet to fit the corpse in the bag, but little did I know that it would be back. So that's the poem I wrote. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhaji. First, I would like to congratulate yes, I personally and Anurag and his team for coming up with this wonderful translation. As regards me, my name is Sakal, this is Dewan, and I have written poetry titled and quite for the Krishna and for the Poetess. It was published in the year 2022, and I was lucky enough to have 2 hours for this work. And I would be reciting the main title, that's and quite for the Krishna. As we are all aware of what's happening in our Naval regions, Darjeeling, when we have witnessed law incident. Myself being environment conscious citizen, I have a special regard for this river Krishna. I used to think that development should not be at the cost of the environment. So I had written poetry dedicated to river Krishna, which we worship watching of local community, especially the Hindus also. So here I go with my this poetry and quite was the Krishna. Born in the lap of majestic Himalayas begins the odyssey of mystic Krishna. Nurtured by Mother Lake Sholama, quietly flows down the Krishna. Rumbling down the ravines and gorges, sweeping all that come in her way. With thunder kinship she forges, in monsoons she loves to blow. Slowly as symbols of human greed, dams across our painfully built. Her life was robbed of its prime. How cruel has come the time. Now she can dispose with her lover Ranbir and holy Triveni where they had promised to meet. Even the fiery Ranbir is furious no more, for he too has been tamed to outpour. Mutely watches the mighty Kanjanga from above, at times shedding tears in sadness. For her children can no longer play their game of love, as selfish models continue to indulge in madness. Now, no more golden masses play under the glistening sunbeam, nor the lusty trout does stray, hopeless as they all have been. But must she continue her journey as promised with her lover till eternity? Their legends shall endure this onslaught of time, leaving legacy of true love sublime. On the sleepy banks, paddy fields beside their oars, when a few weary souls revel in their siesta, bringing soothing breeze that from mountain ward flows, and quite was the Tista, and quite was the Tista. And we are aware of our local folklore that we were Rangi and Tista. We used to worship there. Devi Devana. Now, Sakal have a dance, but not have a sort of quick and it's quite perfect. It's a tribute to these two people. So, additionally, I am beside one short poem that would be Sharma of coming book. I would be published very soon. That's related to our present generation. Here I can see that we are all born in analog days. Say next, digital technology has not made me grow in our society. We used to do that. That release of our system that time. What happened is Facebook, WhatsApp, has taken our life. Stop about if you are offline something. Online people will wondering if this okay or not, why he has lost his mobile, something like that. The technology how has influenced us, so I have short poem I will be sharing with you all. Yes, here I go. Once I was offline for a day. Once I was offline for a day. Many poor souls took me for dead. Such is the importance of the green dot today. Green dot is online for the such is the importance of the green dot today. Oh God, what a world have we inherited? Where our existence is known by being online, rather than being in thoughts and prayers. Where our original self is made to shine under many digital makeup layers. Where our true self is facing an identity crisis ever since the advent of digital technology. Quietly losing bond with our friends and families in the quest to our digital immortality. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the author, Mr. Tamang. And in fact, I do not know him, but today is the first time I met him. But it seems we have a backstory. How? I'd just like to say a few words about him. The translator, Mr. Kela, Nasina Kela sir, I have met him since my childhood. I was an 8-year-old boy when I first met him as a curious poet. I used to write poetry when I was 8 years old. And Dalsingh sir, he was the first person to give in my hands something that was really, eye-opening, because the gift that he gave me has been with me forever. And the gift that he gave me was a thesaurus. I did not know what a thesaurus is before I met him, and the day he gave it to me, I was mesmerized, because in a thesaurus I could find words that could actually, say what I wanted to say. Because they were words, and I loved words when I was an 8-year-old boy. So today, I consider myself fortunate to be in this gathering full of such wonderful people. So, and to be honest, today is the first time in my adult life that I'm going to recite a poem in front of such a big crowd. So, please excuse me if I make some mistakes. And this is just yesterday. It was a poem that I wrote a couple of years back when I was working, and I was alone. I was going through a lot of loneliness at this time, and I had a pet dog. So this poem is actually the point of view of my dog, what he sees me as. And the name of the poem is I Am a Simple Dog. So think of me as a dog when you listen to it. That will make you understand what I'm trying to say. So it goes, I am a simple dog, a patch of dust and sunlight stitched together. In the corner of the small veranda, my fur carries the smell of old rain and open fields. Nothing regal about me. No certificates, no polished leash, just a whistle of my friend and the earth beneath my paws. Yet he, my human, looks at me as if I were born of the stars. He runs his hands through my coarse coat, and I can feel in that touch the ache of all the things he never says aloud. I watch him each morning, fighting the same small wars against time, against worry, against himself. The mirror frowns back at him and ties a knot around the throat. He calls it a tie, as if to hold all the pieces together. He steps into the world carrying invisible weights that no one can smell, but I can. They cling to his shoes when he returns at dusk. Sometimes he smiles too much. That wide, practiced grin humans wear when they are trying not to fall apart. I wag my tail and pretend to believe it. He laughs, and I wonder how laughter can sound so much like the sound of breaking glass. Humans, I have learned, are creatures who bleed without wounds. They mourn things that still exist. They chase what runs faster than time: money, love, meaning, and when they catch one, they forget the others still waiting behind. They cry quietly, as if sadness were something shameful, and yet they call me brave for barking at thunder. When he lost someone once, he sat beside me in the dark and said nothing for hours. I didn't move. Grief has no language, but it has a scent, like rust and rain and surrender. I licked his fingers and he whispered my name, as though I could save him. I do not understand much about the world, only that food tastes better when shared with love, and sleep comes easier when trust beats beside you. Humans complicate what is simple. They invent props to measure moments that could be eternal, and mirrors to forget that beauty of being unobserved. Still, when he looks at me, I see in his eyes the small unspoken hope that perhaps love in its purest form needs no reason to exist. So I stay a humble witness to his tender chaos, his daily becoming, his silent breaking and rebuilding. And in my simple, wordless way, I remind him that he too is the best of all breeds in the whole wide world. Thank you, everyone.